Hello and welcome to today's episode of the 12 Days of Christmas. My name's Gareth.
I'm Bex.
And we are here today. Well, we won't lie. The last couple of episodes have been put out today because, well,
Gareth's
the
not
internet...
working midnight.
No, I was going to say the internet shut itself. I had it all lined up to actually send out and they didn't work.
Oh no.
Yeah, so... Sorry about that, everybody. So here we are with a bit of a mashup one. Tomorrow's is going to be a special episode. And then the last one is on Christmas, isn't it? Is that
Christmas
how we've
Eve.
done it? Or...
Christmas Eve.
Okay, cool.
Christmas Eve. My goodness, I can't believe we've got there already.
I think that makes sense. That works out as 12.
Yes.
12 episodes.
Yes.
Meh. Yeah, okay, cool. Maths was never a high point for me, as we can tell. So, we decided to send out the links to all of our networks and say, hey, we're doing Christmas shows. It would be awesome if you guys could just record a little sample for us and send it back to us. We got 4 replies. So we're going to play all 4 of them today, and just wish to say thanks so very much. So first up, it's a podcast called Relevant to Our Interests. We haven't heard these. We're listening to them as we play them. So, yeah, here we go. Let's see what I said.
Hi, I'm Frank Shaw from the Relevant to Our Interests podcast, and this is some of my happiest Christmas moments. When I was a child, we always put our Christmas tree up well after all of my friends. My parents had a tradition and a rule that they had decided on when they were first married, that the Christmas tree would not go up until after their anniversary. Their wedding anniversary was on December 13th, so our Christmas tree would not go up until about 2 weeks before Christmas. It often went up on the Friday or Saturday after their anniversary. I would arrive home from school on a Friday, only for the Christmas tree to be up and my mother joyfully decorating it. She loved decorating the house for Christmas, but she never became overly garish. She put garlands around the handrails, simple lights around the windows and under the windows outside. She put up a small village scene and, of course, a nativity scene. The Christmas tree was sort of the centerpiece of the decorations. It occupied one corner of the living room and took up a significant amount of room. I'd often help my mother decorate, hanging ornaments on the middle and the bottom of the tree, but only if my chores were finished, and only as long as I stayed interested. But I'd always come back for the finishing touch of hanging the tinsel on the tree. Tinsel was one of the things my father enjoyed, and I shared his enjoyment. Once the tree was up, came one of my favorite times before Christmas. I loved to lay on the floor and just watch the twinkling lights. I'd let my imagination run away. I'd imagine elves living in the tree, or, even cooler, I'd imagine it was a great towering city with spaceships and large square buildings that were the wrapped gifts all around the bottom of it. But my favorite moment came Christmas morning. Of course, I loved to see all the presents that had been left there by Santa, but there was something more. There was a warmth, despite the bitter cold and the snow outside. There was this warm glow from the lights of the tree and the decorations that my mother had so lovingly put up weeks earlier. It was like a big hug of flashing lights, and oftentimes I'd go back to sleep until Mom and Dad woke up, which was never that long. We'd unwrap gifts there beneath the tree like so many families did, the paper going into a pile to be taken downstairs to be used in the wood stove to start a fire. Soon, my older brother's children would arrive to show off their favorite gifts from Santa, and we'd find ourselves outside playing. The tree would stay up till just after the New Year. Then one day, after arriving home from school, the tree would be in a big heap outside, and the decorations would be in the process of being put away for another year. Christmas for me, and the happiest memories I have of Christmas, is thinking back to those warm glow of lights. I still love Christmas lights, though we don't decorate much anymore. I love to drive around and look at the houses decorated with them, small or large. It always brings back happy memories. Merry Christmas, folks.
Oh, I really like that.
That was really nice. So thank
really
you.
was.
Thank you very much there, Frank, from Relevant to Our Interests. The next one up we have is from Strange Uncle. Strange
Yes.
Uncle podcast have done something for us, and once again, just go and hit play and let's enjoy.
Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, Gareth and Bex? This is Shane from Strange Uncles, and you actually had asked some of us to do a quick little Christmas story, I guess, or memory, or something Christmassy. You know, I'm not too sure how you New Zealanders do it, but, you know, I will reminisce a little bit about my childhood. First of all, for those of you who may listen to Strange Uncles, you know that myself, along with my co-hosts John and Josh, we abhor Christmas. Absolutely. Once Halloween's over, as far as we're concerned, holidays are done. Just saying. You know, I used to have Christmas spirit a long time ago when I was a kid, but kind of, you know, I don't know. It went away, and I think it does for a lot of people. But with that being said, you know, I'm not a complete bah humbug on this thing, and, you know, I do remember one of the reasons that I kind of got the Christmas spirit, you know, and it was family. You know, again, I don't know how you and Bex do it, but I do remember fondly when I was a kid. So my mom and dad and my grandma and grandpa tried very hard to keep the spirit of Christmas alive with how they did things. And every year it was kind of the same thing. It was really neat. We had cousins that would come over from Washington State. We lived in Montana, tiny little town of like 200 people. You know, that counted the cows, to be honest with you. And we would have Christmas every year at Grandma and Grandpa's house. And so we'd all have our presents over. And the cousins would come, and Heather was my cousin who was a few years younger than me, and I remember they would play Pinochle, which is a card game, for a couple hours before everybody kind of got there, and then slowly, you know, it would there'd be Christmas music on the TV, or Grandma would put it on the radio. Usually 9 out of 10 times we had snow on the ground just because it was Montana. You get everything going, and then after a while, Grandma and Grandpa and Mom and Dad would all get together and go, okay, you know, we heard news. Santa's close. He's going to come, but he's not going to come if you guys are out. So we're going to have to put you in the room when Santa's here so he can do his magic. And of course, you know, maybe that was kidnapping or holding somebody hostage at that time. I don't know. You know, maybe not. Maybe I'm overthinking. But, you know, they would throw us in the nearest bedroom and they close the door and they tell us, no, don't come out. Because if you come out, you know, Santa's not going to give you anything. Again, this weird criminal hostage situation, I just, you know, I don't understand. So there we sat in the room. You know, of course, we just excited beyond excited because we don't know what's going on. We don't hear anything. You know, there's still Christmas music in the background. And then all of a sudden it would happen. And we would hear the sleigh bells like jingle, you know, and you could hear them coming through and they would be really, really faint. And they would come through the house and soon they get louder and louder. And then we would hear these, and bear with me, this is where Montana Country Christmas comes in. Again, town of 200. We would hear the wood stove, you know, because Grandma and Grandpa didn't have a chimney for Santa to come down. So we would hear the wood stove open, squeak open, and squeak close. And then these stomps would happen all around the living room, just like they were everywhere, like they were surrounding us both. And you'd still hear the bells, and the bells are going on, and you'd hear them in the background, and all the stomping would go forth, and this would last, you know, 2-3 minutes, and then all of a sudden, you know, the bells would fade off a little bit, and then, you know, the footsteps and the stomps would fade off a little bit, then you would hear the stove door again, open, close, and then everything's quiet again, and we'd wait. And then Mom and Dad would come and open the door, and we would rush out, and there's all the presents and everything underneath the tree, and, you know, Santa came. So fast forward about 10 years. I was 17, 18 years old, signed up to join the Navy, and I was helping Grandpa clean out his shed one day. And I looked down in the corner, and we're boxing stuff up, and there in the corner was a set of horse bells that were on a leather strap, and there was a row of them, and they were just laying in the corner. So, you know, it all kind of came together. I mean, obviously we knew way before then, but I thought at that time, it wasn't like, oh, damn, you know, this is what happened. I thought, how cool is it that they went to that point, to that extent, to try to keep it alive for us, you know? And later on, I would find out that Granddad would have the bells, and then Dad would come and he'd open and close the store, and he'd do the stomping around, and Granddad's ringing the bells, and all the adults are sitting around and watch him do this hokey pokey thing, and you know, that's kind of how it went down. But, you know, if nothing else, for the love of family and for the love of keeping the spirit alive, I love him for doing that, because that's cool, you know. And so when you talk about Christmas spirit, I think that's what it means. It's not about the materialistic. It's not about what you get underneath the tree. And I think that's what did it for me. And I will still remember that. And I think that's a memory that even when I get old and see now, hopefully that's one that stays. You know, because that's what's important. The memories like that. So Anyway, Gareth, Bex, I miss you guys. Hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for everything you do for the Strange Uncles podcast with voiceovers and just being guest hosts and just kind of being friends. It's neat, some of the people I've met on this journey, and you two are truly genuine. And for that, I thank you. So happy Festivus from us at Strange Uncles Podcast. Thanks, guys.
Now, do you know the coolest thing about that entire thing?
What's that, darling?
Not only the fact that he thinks we're genuine and he's awesome, because he's awesome too.
Absolutely.
But, like me, he didn't swear during that.
I'm impressed because there would be a lot of...
we're not going to lie, we had a few people, we won't name and shame because that's just
That's not
silly.
the spirit of Christmas.
Not the spirit of Christmas. But we did have a few people we hit up and said, hey, do you want to join our show? They're like, yeah, we're in, it's cool. You can't swear though. Oh, I'm busy that day. There were so many people that were lined up and they all went, nah, I'm sorry, we cannot not swear, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, it's tricky because obviously, I just talk normally, but I've had to choose my words correctly and make sure it's all properly and care.
Yeah.
But we do appreciate that, mate. Thank you so very much for that, guys.
What a wonderful story! Like I love that story.
That is cool. Yeah,
that story just warms my heart, and I fully agree. I don't think it's about the presents either. I definitely think it's about the people.
Yeah, and I love the fact that his dad and his grandfather were doing that to help him out because Santa would have appeared and gone boom boom done, that's it. So they're just keeping that little bit of a part of life.
Giving
you know what I mean?
More mysterious, and I love it. I think it's great.
But I think it's cool, because they help out Santa, so that's how that happens.
Exactly.
Anyway, so thank you so very much, bro. That's much appreciated, and yeah. So the next one we've got, because we're flicking through these faster than I actually thought we would, is from the podcast Release the Clowns. It's a bit of a sketch show that they do, they decided to do a bit of a funny sketch for us,
which I love.
So
I want to hear it.
Here it is. So please enjoy, and we'll come back in about 2 minutes to talk about it.
Hey, Alex, listen to this.
What's that then, Nick?
We've had this lad in New Zealand ask us to send him some Christmas greetings.
Isn't it amazing what they can do now? We didn't even have New Zealand in our day.
No, you had to go to Australia and pretend back then.
Yeah.
This lad, Garth, I think it says, and Bex, that must be his carer. Anyway, they wanted to know what we like most about Christmas.
Oh, I loved Christmas when I was a lad. Hanging out your oranges and waiting for Santa.
Oh, and he'd come down the chimney in his stockings.
With his what's-its all clip-clopping around. His thingies.
Reindeer?
No, it's sunny out.
That's a street light, you numpty.
Oh, we didn't have street lights in our day. If you went out at night, you had to strap a candle under your chin.
Oh, aye, and let the light bounce off your teeth. Oh, you know what I love about Christmas?
The Queen's speech.
The Queen's speech. Of course, we never had telly in them days.
No, she had to climb up on top of Buckingham Palace and bellow.
In her bustle. And after that, we'd go and sing carols.
Oh, my mum used to fuss. She'd say, strap that candle on tight and keep your teeth bared, or you'll get hit by an horse, my lad.
Carol singing was my favourite. Hark the herald angels sing.
That was my granddad's name, Harold. Anyway, they never had Christmas in them days.
Well, that was before the baby Jesus invented reindeer.
That's right, yeah. Hey, you remember what we used to do every Christmas?
Oh, yes. We'd make those Release the Clowns sketch comedy podcast Christmas specials.
That's right. Of course, we never had the internet in them days.
No.
We had to strap all the words to a flock of geese.
And hope they landed in the right order.
Yeah.
Oh, they landed everywhere, didn't they?
Yeah.
On the iTunes,
Yes, right,
on that Spotify.
And on some poppies.
Oh, yeah.
All over. It's a wonder his baubles don't drop off, innit?
Who?
Garth, down there in New Zealand with his Christmas tree all upside down. It's a wonder his baubles don't drop off.
Oh, yes, that'll be a shame, wouldn't it? Oh, shall we send them out